Hello and welcome to my first junk journal flip through video. I've never done one of these before, so we'll see how this goes. This is a chess themed journal, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the cover. This is a repurposed book cover. I got the book from the thrift store, and this is a placemat that someone gifted to me. This is a real picture frame. I had to use industrial strength glue to get that on there. On the end here, we have a little pin that I picked up at the thrift store that I thought was real neat. And I made these to go on it because I thought it needed something dangly. This is a journal for a friend of mine, and he teaches chess. And he plays chess like competitively. So I wanted to do a chess journal. And then we have the little, I've bound it or clasped it, whatever, with an elastic, and I added a little K because my friend's name is Klaus. So let's get started. We'll take that off. Oh, by the way, that little image in there, it's real glass. That little image in there, I printed that off of the internet because I thought it was neat. It's kind of hard to find chess themed stuff like out in the wild. So there's a little bit of stuff that got printed in this particular journal. Alrighty. It has his name and his like ID numbers on the inside, so I'm not going to show you that, but I'll show you inside the back cover so you'll be able to see that. This is a chess form that chess players use to record their games. So the front of each page is the chess form and the back is junk journaling. And I have included a little altered paper clip here so he can keep up with where he is. Here on the back, this is printed. This is some cloth I picked up that I thought was really neat, and it's sewn in. I made the stamps for this piece of ephemera from pencil erasers. He can journal on the back of that. And some scrap paper that I had. This one is chess notation symbols. He asked me to include some chess notation symbols, so I did. And then I stamped in between there and added some stickers. And I made him a little notebook to go with it so that if he comes across any in the wild, he can add them himself. And it is attached via a paper clip. All of these pages are tea stained with like Lipton's tea, except the forms I actually tea stained with a different kind of tea. It was like a red, like red vanilla tea. I don't know, I'm not really a tea person, but I just had some lying around, so I figured I would use it. It says washi tape with crowns and a blank page for journaling. Traditional style journaling. This one I printed off the internet, and that was just some scrap paper that I had around that I thought was neat looking. Cut these out of a paper bag. They're just little snowflakes because my friend Klaus loves snow and the mountains and such. I love this because it has the little tab at the top, and this is a postcard for journaling and just some cardstock that I had. I made this one out of just some notebook paper that I had, and I left the edges all crinkly looking for extra interest. Don't tell anybody, it's a secret, but this actually came from a bag of tortilla chips, but I thought it was so neat looking that I pulled it out and used it. That's the junk part of junk journaling, I guess. We got another one here with the little tabs, and I folded this out of a piece of paper from a book on how to play chess. And this I cross-stitched myself because my friend has a hedgehog, and so he and his wife are really into hedgehogs, so I included a little hedgehog in here. And some little note cards I picked up from the thrift store. Here's a map from near where I live in Ottawa with a little decorative thing on the top and a little tuck space here. And I included some coasters from a brewery in Ottawa. So wherever he goes, he always has a coaster for him and his friends. This is a decorative page. It's cardstock, and these are actually paint chips from the hardware store. And I made little boats and little birds because I thought they were pretty. This is an altered book page. I made a little poem by marking out everything but the words I wanted. This is another blank page, and it looks blank, but it's actually not. It actually fades all the way down to a light blue. I think it's pretty cool, personally. I love this one. It's black and white and red all over. And the idea is, this is a tuck space, and I took this, and this is newspaper that I Mod Podged on there, and I freehanded that and cut it out. So it'd be really neat. Stamped, and this opens up, and it's got this, a piece of ephemera. I printed that off the internet. He can journal on the back of that. Write down an incident or a date or a neat memory. This one I made. I have an altered book page, and I actually made the stamp for it. And it says Klaus in Hong Kong because that's my friend and his wife. This is just washi tape, another blank page for journaling. It's got some interesting marks. I tried to pull out all the ones with interesting marks and make them pages for more traditional journaling. This was some stationery I picked up at the thrift store. This one I made. It's got the little bicycle built for two, and all of these have little raindrops. And you could write like a date or a name or something on the back if you wanted, or write in the clouds. A friend of mine gave me this ribbon, and this is just a sticker that I stuck up there. It's not attached, but I thought it was really cool looking. And I actually made this. It's a little file folder. It actually comes out. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. It like folds outwards so he can stick stuff down in there. And it's decorated with paint chips on the front. And this is just some cardstock that I had. This one I love too. It's another one of my favorites. I made this, like I drew the mountains and everything, and like inked in the colors. This is a napkin that I got from Walmart, and I made this. It's supposed to look like a tree. So it's like a tree rising from the mountains with the neat sky above it. We have a little band here and some tags that I made for him. If you'll notice, this is the same orange as that ribbon that we saw earlier. And I made the little triangle stamp for this one. So we have some little tags if he needs them. I really like this page. It's kind of hard to see, but it says correspondence chest there. Back in the day, before the internet or even like the telephone, people used to play chess by mailing a card back and forth, and they would just write down their moves and just mail it back and forth, and they could play a game of chess over like a long period of time in a very long distance when they couldn't be together. And that was called correspondence chess. So I took pages from a chess book and folded them into envelopes as a little pun, correspondence chess. And that's a little correspondence chess form down there at the bottom. These are some note cards that were already old looking that I stole from my significant other. Not that he's going to miss them or anything, but he had them from like college, and they were very aged looking, and I loved them. This is just some washi tape, and it's attached underneath with a different washi tape. And it's a cascading fall of note cards with a secret little stamp underneath. Another blank page for traditional journaling, and don't tell anybody it's a secret. That's actually just masking tape. This is some more washi tape and some cool little marks. Piece of ephemera. Just stickers. This I found on the internet. Cardstock. This one I love. The black and white and red all over page, I kept the little knight that I cut out, and I stuck it in here because my friend is really, really into clothes, especially pajamas. And so I made him a little pajama page. These are real buttons that I glued in there. And then if you open it up, there's a little place for journaling, which I think is cool. Little piano. My friend plays the piano. And if you open it up, this is tea-stained paper with burnt edges for extra interest. And you can write stuff down in there. Little pieces of ephemera that I made him. This stationery shows up several times. I used it for actual pages, and I also used it to make some ephemera because I think it's so cool. So anytime you see like a dark blue, it's from the same, like a dark blue stripe or a fade down to blue, it's from the same stationery. I love it. It's one of my favorite stationeries I've ever picked up. Another little piece of stationery that I got from down at the thrift store. Printed off the internet and some extra paper I had lying around. Stationery. This one I love. I love that it gets more ragged with time. It's a little ruler in case he ever needs to measure things. On this side it has inches, and on the back side it has centimeters. And if you look real close, you can tell I got this from IKEA. Teehee. I folded this out of a book page. Another little piece of ephemera and a sticker and a little thing I printed from the internet. Washi tape. I asked my friend if he had any chess quotes that he really liked that were like very special to him, and he told me this one right here, "The king is a fighting piece, use it." And so I included it in the book form and, you know, just marked out to look like a chess piece there. Sorry if you can hear anything in the background. I have a son and he is 13 months old and he's not very quiet. So that's probably what you're hearing in the background. These came from my friend's garden and I pressed them and dried them and Mod Podged them on. They're very cool looking. Some receipts, in case he ever needs to write somebody a receipt. And this was a piece of a paper bag and I just stamped on it. The other half of that other stationery. More washi tape, and these are phases of the moon. I'm very fond of those. I just think it's real cool looking. I made the stamp, this is a decorative page. I made the stamp for these out of a pencil eraser. You just like carve it up with the head of a pen. And I thought it was real cool looking. Little sticker. These are paint chips. That's K for Klaus. And this I got from a used bookstore in Stittsville. We went in to try to find Dr. Seuss books for my son, and we did find some, and just the lady that owned the place stuck a little bookmark in the bag, so I thought I would include it because my friend lives in the States. More of the phases of the moon washi tape. Stamp, stamp, stamp. All three of these are tuck spaces with little pieces of ephemera in them. There we go. And there's not really like anything underneath, but there are little tuck spaces so he can stick, you know, tickets or receipts or business cards or whatever he wants in there. And these pieces of ephemera, for those who don't know, they're intended to be journaling spots for small moments, because you don't journal in a junk journal the way you would a regular journal. You know, it's not like, "Dear Diary, today I did this." You record more moments and more, you know, special memories, and not necessarily a daily log of events. There's another little piece of tortilla chip bag that I thought was neat looking. And it's a little card I picked up, K for Klaus. Printed this off the internet. I really like that one, and I thought it was neat. It's very old. Chess has been going on a really long time, apparently, and I thought he would find that interesting. That same stationery that I love so much. This is a little calendar, and once 2019 is over with, he can just use that as like a regular piece of ephemera. The older the journal gets, the cooler that bit of ephemera will be. And this was just from a paper bag. I cut it out. It's got the little neat things going on. And I printed that off the internet. My friend is really big into Lord of the Rings, so I thought I would include a little hobbit hole for him. with the grass on the top, and I drew these and I made the little thing. And then if you open the doors, there's a spot for journaling on the inside. Isn't that cool? And like I said, he's big in the Lord of the Rings, so I made him a little pint glass that says it comes in pints. Hopefully he'll think that's funny. I think it's funny. Masking tape again on a blank page. This one is extremely cool. It's probably my favorite page out of the whole book. The way it goes is, this is plastic, and this little cork comes out. See? So the idea is he can take a little bit of emergency money and tie it up in the string and then work it down in there and put the cork on it. And then if he ever needs his emergency money, he has to pull the cork and break the glass to get a hold of it. Another piece of ephemera and a little tuck space. Washi tape, washi tape. And all the cool, neat little marks. I love all the little marks. Anytime one of my tea stain pages came out with little marks, I was like, yes, I'm going to make that a blank page. Another one of those cards that I got. We saw one of those earlier in the book. It's really neat. Good place to journal on the back. It's got, you know, birds and stuff on it. It's really cool. Postcard was the word I was looking for. Postcard. My friend recently lost somebody very close to him, and I thought that I would include a place for a picture of her here. So no matter where he goes or what he does, he always has a picture with him. And then this back page says, would you like to play a game of chess? And the reason it says that is because opposite that, I have made him this. It took me an eternity to do this. It's not really cross-stitched, but it's somewhat cross-stitched. A chessboard, and I made sure it was like regulation and everything, and I put a neat bit of backing on it so he can use it. And I included this so he can always play chess no matter where he is. And this is what the inside of the front cover looks like. It's actually raised slightly. It's polka dotted, and it's raised slightly. I don't know if you can see it. You kind of can. And it's textured, and it's really cool. And I made this little bag, right? It's the same as this part right here. And inside of it, we have, I took some pieces of cork and made pieces of wine cork and made chess pieces out of them. And if you'll notice, if the piece is black on the front, it's black on the back. So he can turn them over and play checkers. And if the piece is white on the front, it's white on the back. And it has all of the chess pieces. I did my best art-wise on that one. Chess pieces are surprisingly hard to draw. Made him a little drawstring to go with it. And about the actual journal itself, it has 6 signatures in it. And I used a 5-point pamphlet stitch. And I stitched it, it's kind of hard to see, but I stitched it into a piece of this same fabric and then just glued it straight in here. And that is the neat little junk journal that I made for my friend. Hope you guys have enjoyed this.